Now let's begin the conversation. We begin in Kwara State, north-central Nigeria, where the state's governor Abdurrahman Abdulrazak is striving to boost quality of education in the state. Thousands of applicants are participating in the recruitment conducted by the Kwara State Teaching Service Commission (TESCOM). The process has been described as transparent, with applicants made to go through different stages before successful ones are picked. Let's share the story by TVC News' Ibrahim Alege with you.
The recruitment exercise commenced with online registration. More than 26,000 applied. This was closely followed by computer-based tests, out of which 5,928 were invited for screening exercise. After a thorough screening of their credentials, cleared applicants proceed to do micro-teaching before a panel of experts drawn from colleges of education, university, and the bureaucracy. Kauthar Kazim is one of the applicants. She applied to teach commerce, and she is here before the panel of experts to demonstrate her teaching skills.
So there is made from and the wood are made from wood.
Sincerely, I said it to someone that this is the first time I'll be seeing a recruitment process where they actually know what they are doing. Starting from the registration to the CBT exam that we wrote, and now down to the interview. In fact, I give kudos to the Kwara State government. At one point, I looked around and felt like, exercises can be credible like this in Nigeria. So I give credit to the Kwara State government and the organizers of this interview.
What's your hope?
I hope that I can continue to impart in people, and I can be given the opportunity. I really want to impart more in people.
And just like Kauthar, other applicants are equally impressed with the process, describing it as transparent. They equally hope for the best from the exercise.
Undoubtedly, I hope I will be selected because this exercise takes nothing but quality. Since the inception of this administration, I noticed His Excellency, the Governor of Kwara State, has a zero tolerance for academic fraud. And this exercise is second of its form. The last time I heard was it 2021, in which exams were conducted. The outstanding students were invited for interview, and the best of the best were selected. And this has been repeating itself right from the CBT. When I went to the CBT, I sought questions where this is an intellectual question, and I had 73.33%. I was invited for this interview. I'm here this morning.
I did all my registration on my phone, and it was quite very free and very good for the teaching. So after the registration, we are summoned for a CBT test, which I did mine at CBT Center in Kwara State College of Education, Ilorin. That was my CBT Center. Then after I finished my CBT, I believe around 5 o'clock or 6 p.m. that very day, I saw my results.
The chairman of the Kwara State Teaching Service Commission, Malambelu Tawhid, said the exercise is to select the best among the applicants in an equitable way without compromising standards. He disclosed that 1,800 will be picked among the applicants.
Those that will be qualified may be likely more than that, but out of the qualified one, we will pick 1,800. We are trying to digitalize education in Kwara State. We've done that in 2021. We want to progress. The education in Kwara was stagnant, most especially at the Teaching Service Commission where I am. Sincerely, when we came on board, there wasn't anything to write home about in terms of education. But now we are progressing. So this appointment is basically about interlands, the village rural areas that have no teachers. That is what it's meant for. So we'll screen them, scrutinize them very well to bring out those that are not residing in that community and give the people of that community the appointment. Even if you are not an indigent and you reside there, we prefer giving you the appointment than to give somebody that will not stay. Because the issue of alternating, you come 2-3 days, I come next week, we don't want to condone that any longer.
The process is being observed by different civil society organizations. The screening exercise will end on March 1. This is not the first time that such a recruitment exercise will be conducted by the administration of Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak. Ibrahim Alige, TVC News, Ilorin.
Yeah, teaching profession is a profession responsible for imparting young minds and instilling values that and also contribute to a brighter future. But, Mikhail, what should the Kwara State government be doing to screen out the worst and get the best out of the applicants?
And that's what they've done now. I've always said that it is not enough to build beautiful schools with fantastic architecture. The quality of instruction is what matters the most. You can have a beautiful school and the quality of instruction could be poor and you will not get the best out of the students. But if the quality of instruction is solid, even if it's a decrepit environment, you still will find some quality students out of the lot in the school. One is not saying don't improve the learning environments, but government must place so much accent on the quality of instruction. So you must train teachers. You must ensure that only the best get to teach the students. The focus shouldn't simply be on the infrastructure, how beautiful the building is. You must invest in human capital. You must invest in those teachers, give them the best training, and the training has to be from time to time. That's why people say that public schools still have the best teachers, whether they are primary school or universities. Yeah. The best teachers are still in the public schools because they get the kind of training that some of the teaching staff in the private schools do not get.
Some might want to argue that.
No, I know what I'm talking about. I'm available for people to argue.
Some might want to argue that.
I'm available.
I'm also available.
Okay.
What are we talking about? I talk from the position of facts. Facts are the tools of our trade. Anybody who wants to argue can come and argue. I have children in private schools. I know what I'm talking about. The private universities, they use, a lot of people they use are actually from public universities. Yeah. Don't you know that? Right. They travel all the way to go and give lecture in those private universities. Many of them are not willing to leave the environment because the advantages. Check out the private schools. Do they pay workers well? Do they pay teachers well? Do your own research.
Sure.
There are private schools that pay as little as 20K to teachers. But the public schools will not pay that kind of money to teachers. Not at this time of minimum wage and all that.
Exactly.
And the benefits that those ones get, they don't get it. People can argue all they want. But you can't argue with facts, and you are not entitled to your own facts.
Exactly.
Facts are by nature self-evident.
Exactly.
So this is what we are saying. Look at the way they've screened these people. 20,000 applied online. At the end of the day, only about 1,800 or so are going to get employment. Do private schools subject people to that level of screening? Exactly. Some people are teaching today in many of these private schools that even government has not found a way to screen them because they cannot find any other thing to do. Teaching should not be an all-commerce affair because there are skills that a teacher must have. Yes. So they are already on the right path. The state is building new school, renovating new schools, but they're also focusing on the quality of instruction. And that is why they've gone to this length. Now, one big problem we have is that in the rural areas, people don't want to serve in the rural areas. Now, they are prioritizing people who are prepared to serve in the rural areas because there's an acute inadequacy of teachers. You find in some, I was in my interview with the Edo State governor, he said in some schools you have only 3 teachers, and one of the teachers is actually a teacher. You know,
the principal.
Insufficiency of teachers. So you address that by constantly recruiting people into the teaching service. So this is what they've done. Now, those who are not digitally compliant, they'll be weeded out because a computer-based test was conducted.
True.
So they're on the right path. This is what other states should be doing. They're on the right path already, and given what they have done, I'm confident that they will find the right people. If you pass through this whole test, you know that you tried your best, you've done well. There is no way, given what even the applicants are saying, that the process is transparent. I'm confident that they will find the right teachers.
The right teachers.
And the school system will be the best for it. Remember some time ago, a commissioner in this Kwara state conducted tests. Teachers failed, their pupils passed. The same test conducted for teachers.
I remember that of Edo State.
Yes, now that's this man who was a spokesman. Was this spokesman for APC at one point? I'm trying to remember. This guy who was one of Saraki's supporters.
Okay.
Maybe we'll remember his name. He was commissioner in the state. You remember that case?
I remember.
He conducted that test. He conducted the same test for teachers and pupil. Pupil passed. Many of the teachers failed. To tell you that a lot of the people in the system don't deserve to be there.
Exactly.
So for them to go to this length, I'm really impressed.
Sure. All right, Johnson. I like the fact that he said it was transparent. Nothing like politicizing. It wasn't about man, no man.
Well, that says a lot about the man at the end of affairs in this state.
It says a lot about the governor. True,
now,
I like that
before I was sent this topic this morning, I was in a gathering where one of the editors of the biggest newspapers in Nigeria, his phone rang. And after speaking with the person, he said, that's the governor of Kwara State. Bolaji Abdullahi.
Yes. He conducted the test. The same test for teachers and pupils. Pupils passed, many of the teachers failed. It's not fiction, it's what happened.
Yes. So when the editor finished taking the call, he said, that's the governor of Kwara State that called him. And one of the things he said, out of a lot of them, was that he checks with the media how certain things that they are doing is working out. Are you getting any feedback? How can we do it better? What's the negatives that you already have? Can you advise?
Exactly.
Number 2, he drives himself to check on the system. And he doesn't go with it. He doesn't go in flamboyant cars. He just drives a jalopy with one person who can protect him. And he goes to check. He mixes with people that, like, some of them may not know. He might have been at that center.
Yes.
And they wouldn't recognize him.
I was a day at the airport. He put on a mask, and he was on the queue with us at this JT terminal here. We didn't know. At a point, he then tapped me and removed the mask.
So that's somebody...
How many of his governor colleagues will line up with us? It was an early morning flight, long queue, and he was far at the back.
So when you see somebody who's ready to work, you will
flying private
jet and all.
Imagine that any of these people doing the screening had misbehaved and they didn't see him there. So it shows that the person who is in charge,
he's hands-on.
He knows what he wants and is doing exactly what he wants to be achieved. You refer to the case of Edo when Adams of Sherman was there. We saw the failure there.
Yes.
And
they discovered that some teachers were blind.
Even the teacher couldn't spell the name correctly. A teacher. And then they were saying the teacher was under pressure to spell her name.
Yeah, one of them even said, make I start from the beginning.
Ridiculous. And then maybe lastly on this, I love the fact that they are looking for people who are resident in certain communities.
Exactly.
Because the problem now is somebody who is staying perhaps in a lorry, and then you want the person to teach.
You give him a job in
Share,
or something,
and then it becomes like, okay, I'll go for 2 days, I'll come back. But
Absolutely.
when you get people who are resident there,
exactly,
it's far better for you.
Absolutely.
And then it also means that the state is actually looking out for people in those localities to educate them.
Absolutely. To address the insufficiency of teachers.
Exactly.
One of the issues, people don't want to go to the hinterland.
To the hinterland.
But if they are resident there, then they'll feel comfortable to work there. That's why they are prioritizing those who are resident in those rural areas.
Okay. All right, gentlemen, let's move straight to our next